Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sarah from Fantagram, and you're listening to Zero Dark Nerdy. Boom.
All right, ladies and gents, let's get into it. Welcome back to Zero Dark Nerdy, our first live stream in a very, very long time. So for those of you tuning in, all 7 of you right now, I appreciate it. We have Rihanna from Municipal in the building.
Hello. Nice to meet you all.
And first appearance here in a while, the lovely Nicole just finished up chemo treatments.
Yes, last one was last week.
Yep. So we are so glad to have her back, and that's all that, and then of course a ding on that. So we are going to be talking about it's the year of the scammer right now in regards to Netflix. We're going to be talking about the Tinder Swindler. We were just talking about this offline. It is a tongue twister.
Say 10 times fast.
Yeah. And inventing Anna, or inventing the Swindler, as we want to call this live stream. So for those of you that are going to be listening to this, probably end of the week next week, this is going to be live. Feel free to chime in with questions. Excellent. So we're going to just kind of go over first reactions, thoughts, and then I do have some questions for the two of you in regards to like which one is the worst out of the two of them between Simon and Anna. Just how gullible people can be, unfortunately. Worst side character, and then best side character, and then go from there. But yeah, feel free to chime in with your questions. We're going to do our best to answer them as they come in. So I guess we can start with the first one that came out, which I do believe was the Tinder Swindler, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there is, as always, spoilers ahead. So if you have not watched the Tinder Swindler or Inventing Anna, I highly suggest you do so. So I will ask you to go away if you don't mind spoilers. First reactions, and Nicole, we'll start with you in terms of the Tinder Swindler.
I actually tried to put myself in these poor girls' shoes and thinking to myself, what if I were single on Tinder and see this guy? Would I be one to be tricked by him? And the answer is fuck no, it would not. I mean, even if you really like the guy, which I think the astounding review on this guy was that they liked his look, they liked his clothes, and he made it seem like he had a lot of money.
Yep.
Okay, fine. But would you really put that much money? The first girl, what was it, like 40, 200? I don't even know. Anywhere from like $40,000 to 200 and something $1,000. Would you really put that much into someone risking, that it could possibly, I don't know. I'm such a conservative person. I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah.
BetOnline.ag remains your number one spot in 2022 with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. It's a new year with a new updated desktop and mobile website. So sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and the UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline.ag is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, it's where the game starts.
So first reactions.
Right.
I'm mixed between, do I feel sorry for these women, or do you look at them and be like, he threw up so many red flags, So I don't know.
I mean, to me, I think the biggest red flag is, he's taking me away on a private jet. And how does human trafficking not cross your mind at all whatsoever?
I don't even know this person. And
Right.
You're getting on a jet with him.
Right. So what was your first reaction to the Tinder Swindler there?
So I'm going to call it the tin swin because
there we go. TS.
But anyways, so it's like, it's such a hard one for me because I have had experience dating a narcissist and having someone who is a complete liar and totally distorts your perception of reality. So it's like, I looked at it from that aspect. Like, of course, like there's no way in hell I would ever meet someone on Tinder and then like a month later be like, oh, we're in love and we're moving in together and I'm going to send you $50,000 and take out credit cards in my name that you're going to use. Like, that's absolutely not the case. But in the same breath, I kind of feel bad for her because I do think that he was like love bombing her to the extent where she thought they were in this really like deep relationship and they were going to plan a future together. And when that happens, and then someone is like instilling this sense of fear in you, and you're like, I love this person and they're in trouble, you want to do anything you can do to help them. And so, yes, like she made very wrong decisions. But also I think she was a person who was looking for love and she thought she found love. Did she fall in love with the person or did she fall in love with the lifestyle first and then convince herself she was in love with the person? It's like, there's like so many different like variables and facets you can look at it. But yeah, I mean, I felt horrible. I think her name was Cecilia was at
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. The original girl. And, you know, she's talking about how she was driving one day and almost like crashed into a car because she just figured her life would be better if she like killed herself. And I'm like, gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you deal with like a con artist who will lie to you to the point of you don't even understand what reality is, you know?
Agreed. And I mean, this dude is so messed up to go after women's feelings like that. And then on top of that, throw in the story with Peter, the bodyguard, and all this other stuff. I mean,
people are going to kill him.
Right. He's in danger. And then, you know, to me, it's like you're the son of a billionaire. Why? Let's just say roles will reverse and this was a woman and I like fell for the woman or whatever. My first question is if they would ask me to open up a credit card or whatever the hell, I'd be like, but you're the son of a billionaire. Like, why isn't your dad sending you money? I mean, I know he put in a lot of the you know, oh, the bank assets are froze and blah, blah, blah. But I think to me, besides the private jet, I mean, yes, granted, sure. In a regular modern day, it seems incredibly romantic, but we are living in 2022 now where people have to be skeptical. And I think this took place in like 2018, something like that. So at least for her story, he's been doing this you know, according to the show, for a long time in Israel as a pilot, and he was part of the Mossad and this, that, and the other. So, I mean, the guy is, for lack of a better term, a natural born con artist. Con artist,
yeah. But I also know, like, I've been on dating apps in the past, and there's no way that I would have met some guy for coffee on like a Tuesday morning and then be like, oh yeah, I'll get on this private jet with you somewhere else. I would have been like, absolutely not. Like, that just doesn't, in my mind, like make any sense. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, I went on a date once before and I shared my location with my girlfriend so they could track where I was, because I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Like, getting on a private jet with them, like, I don't care how much you want to get on a private jet. Like, maybe not.
But you want to know something, Rihanna? That's the reason why these 3 women made the cut, because I guarantee he probably went through a lot of women who were like, nah, brah.
I didn't think about that.
Totally.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, because they're like in love with the potential lifestyle that they can have versus like the reality of the situation, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Seemed a little desperate.
Yeah. Plus the whole thing with we don't know if it's the real baby mama, the fake baby mama who was also a victim before. It's like, not only is this our first date and I'm going to whisk you away, but I'm also bringing my daughter and her mom too. And, you know, you have 2 girls. I have a daughter. You know, normally we don't let them meet anybody until, you know, many, many dates through. And then to have that, it just seems like I understand trying to find love. I get it, you know, the whole 9 yards, but there have to be flags that can't be ignored even from day one, especially just like you said, all right, we're just here having a coffee. By the way, I'm going to whisk away. Cause to me, at the end of the day, I would be thinking trafficking. Like, nobody's ever going to see me again.
100%. There's no way I would have gotten on a plane with that guy. And then is it even his baby? Like, we don't even know that. Like, maybe he doesn't even have a child.
She was part of the original lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like, she was one of the women, according to the documentary.
Yeah. But then is that actually his kid? Or, you know what I mean? Like, maybe she was in on it. So like, why did she like fly with him? And I'm like, well, maybe she was in on him
trying to get her money back.
Exactly. Right. I mean, also that Eileen girl at the end who like got him to give her all his like.
I loved that.
I was like, I want to be friends with her so bad because she's so badass. She's like,
how did she lie to you though?
Huh?
How did she last 2 years with him?
Yeah. She was pretty boss though, when she was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to swindle the Tinder swindler.
Yeah, totally.
And, oh
And
my
I know she
goodness.
didn't get any of her, like a fraction of her money back, but at the same time, like that had to feel so good for her to be like, I stole all your clothes and I'm selling them, and at least I'm getting something back for like all the pain and suffering you caused. But
And then
it's just wild.
The WhatsApp conversations too, you see how messed up he is. Like, you don't want to do this to me. There will be consequences. And then, he'd call right back. All right. I mean, to me, if I get more, I mean, granted, we all have group chats that I'm sure get on our nerves every now and again, even though we love the people in them. Yeah. But for one person that has tried to mess you up, especially financially, and then you're going to continue to blow me up like that, I respect her for not blocking him, because I would have been like, all right, man, I got your clothes. I'm going to make my money later.
Yeah. See you later. But I think she wanted him to get arrested. And I mean, all of them did. But how pitiful was his prison sentence versus like the time he spent? Like,
wasn't it like 5 months?
5 months.
Yeah, he was only sentenced to 15 months, just like out the gate, but then he only served 5. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, you read all these stories about people getting like busted with like marijuana and they're in jail for like 5 years. And you're like, This guy literally stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from people. And you're like, 15 months sounds good.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, 15 months for however much money he got.
Right.
Just like,
Yeah.
I know. And then I'm like, maybe I should life of crime. 5 months doesn't seem that bad. If I'm just kidding. I would never do that. But
because my whole thing on top of that too is, 15 months is nothing. Just like you said, compared to most crimes out there. And it just goes to show you what happens when you mess with normal everyday people, unfortunately, but then you mess with financial institutes, which I think this will be a good segue into Inventing Anna and what she had to go through. And to me, just kind of starting off, the main difference between the two of them is Inventing Anna, for the exception of Rachel, which I do this in heavy quotations because I know it's Netflix. I know it's a show.
Yeah.
And I can't stand her. Can't stand her at all. But for the exception of Rachel, she really was, it looked like, trying to build a business. Yes. Yeah. Trying to get over on the banks. Sure. But that shows you the difference between, you're going to try to mess up a financial institution, kind of like Catch Me If You Can. Mm-hmm. But for the modern day, like, we're going to throw real time at you, to where if you try to take advantage of people that you don't know of, well, it's just their fault because apparently they're idiots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. And the one thing, did you see on Monday that the Diamond family has filed suit against
saw that.
The Tinder swindler guy? They followed suit against him for claiming to be like one of their family members. So that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, because
I can't wait.
I know, right? We'll have another podcast in the making.
This is like the 2022 Tiger King over here.
Yes, it is. Oh, goodness. Yes. But yeah, no. And that's, I think, the biggest difference in Anna. I think she was trying to better her position in life, totally going about it the wrong way. But even like everybody, for the most part, said that like, had she gotten the loans from the banks to start this business and like make her like dreams come true, she would have paid everybody back that she owed, Yeah.
Because I mean, she even paid Neff back at the hotel, which, we'll get to side characters here in a little bit. Neff, to me, is like the ultimate ride or die. She wasn't really using her for her status. She just saw this woman who was a boss, and she's trying to also be her own boss, enjoyed hanging out with her. The scene with the Pharma Bro where he gets the masters to Lil Wayne, like that shit is insane to me. But, you could kind of see how the 1%ers live. So that kind of thing, and I think that's what surprised me the most about Inventing Anna is how, I don't want to say easy, because I mean, she did a very good job. It's not like she just went in there half-assed, like, hey, I have this idea, here it is. Like, yeah, she had a pitch deck, she had the persona, the lifestyle, she had the connections on top of that. So, with that being said, she was definitely strategic about it. And I do believe you. Like, I do think if the loans would have gone off, I'm not saying that this place would have been a massive success, but she was trying to build something. And, the girl, I mean, obviously the backstory is super duper confusing between the dad and supposed mafia ties and this, that, and the other. And that's one part of the story that I definitely have a lot of question marks on. But at the end of the day, though, it just seemed like she wasn't getting over on people and their emotions or whatnot. It was just pretty much like, yes, she was very forward and kind of bitchy. You know, you look poor. So that was a terrible accent, but
I was working on my accent.
I was gonna say it was better than the accent in the show, though.
I was so confused with her accent. I was like, "What is that? What am I?"
It was distracting, to be honest. Like, it should have been like, I don't know. I thought it could have been dialed back just a little bit because it was so.
It took me a couple episodes to honestly get into the accent, and apparently, like, friends of her, and she did a lot of her homework. Either way, 2-time Emmy Award winner for Ozark. I mean, phenomenal actress.
Julia Garner.
I knew there was a Garner in there. Thank you, Nicole. My beautiful assistant here. That according to people that are close to Anna, like, she nailed her actual accent. So that was the thing, because I will say it was a little bit to get used to, and I think it was by episode 4 where I was like, all right, this is the accent. Here we are. Yeah, no, I totally agree. But it, like, right from the start, I was like, why is she talking like that? It doesn't like. But she did a great job, Julia Garner. Agreed. Yeah,
so, she looked just like her too. If you look at the.
Oh yeah. Because I mean,
real Anna Sorkin, she looks just. Yeah.
What's more important than peace of mind? Nothing. And that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind while you are online. And with all of the threats that you face today on the internet, it is more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, most servers, and next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either, and plans start at under $4 a month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe, and that's believe spelled BLEAV. You'll get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan, plus 1 additional month for free. And I think the thing, like I said, that interests me the most about Inventing Anna was seeing more of the life of the 1%ers out there, how they interacted, what they were doing. There was the chick that lived in the Hamptons and the yacht scene and all that. And, we all know that this exists, but kind of getting that view into this lifestyle, it's just crazy that, someone, and I mean, she, if anything, she's incredibly smart. Yeah. And knows what to say and when to say and how to act, the whole 9 yards. It's just very interesting to see how she was able to get over on people that for the most part, I don't want to say for the most part, but that normally think that they're better than other people, especially talking about the way they dress, like the model guy, the one that did the fashion shows. Yeah. Like, oh, well, you could tell like Anna, she's old money. Like, you don't look like that and also have this great taste in wine and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I'm getting a $3 bottle of fucking Oak Crest Merlot, like, as soon as I get home from work.
She played on everyone's ego. Right. She built her image up and she played on everyone's ego. She was a megalomaniac, I think is the term. Very good, yeah. But yeah, she floated money. She used Chase in the show. I don't know what his real name is. Anyway, she used him for a lot of it. He got her by quite a bit. She had somewhere to live. She had someone funding her. Yeah. She had someone to believe her. And then, from that person, she was able to get access to all these other people. Yeah. And gaining access to those people, she went on and on and on. Yep.
Like the domino effect. You find like one person that believes you and has money, and then it's like
like a Ponzi scheme in this situation, right?
Yeah.
You got other people backing you, but all she really wanted she really just wanted people to know how close she was to succeeding in and who knows if she would have really paid anyone back, because the one thing that I loved about this Netflix series, and probably to cover their own ass, is it was based on a true story, but but the facts that were complete bullshit, which they put in like the beginning of
Yeah.
the show every single time
Yeah.
in a creative and adorable way. But
Yeah, that's what made me Google so much, because I was like, so what is true? And you just want to know that. And just a couple notes here that I have in my phone, and we'll start with Inventing Anna too. So in 2019, New York froze all of her funds because of the Son of Sam law, which prevents, and this was passed in 1977, and is designed to prevent criminals from profiting from their crimes, which is what, she was doing by selling her
did
story.
she have money?
Well, no, not until Netflix paid her. For her side of the story. So, but yeah, it was put into place because of the Son of Sam trying to sell his story. And then on top of that, so according to an insider, since Anna was using the funds to pay off her victims, Albany County judge recently ordered New York's Office of Victim Services to unfreeze Anna's bank account to allow her to use the funds she had left ahead of her expected prison release to pay the lawyer, of course, which I thought he did a phenomenal performance. I can't think of the actor, but the lawyer's name is Todd.
Yeah.
And then she still owed money to Citibank, so there was $70,000 in restitution for that. And then she had already paid $100,000 to City National Bank too. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because I knew that this law existed, but you don't really hear about it often. And I was trying to see how that would play into something like this, to where obviously she's profiting from it. And, unlike Rachel, who's not a victim as far as in prison, profited a lot more than Anna did. So, and that whole, where'd they go? Morocco? Goodness gracious. I don't know if I ever want to go to Morocco, but that whole episode, I was like, holy shit, these people may die.
Yeah.
I had my girlfriend, because she was watching at the same time I was watching it, and she was like texting me like as she was approaching the Morocco episode, and I was like, just wait. Because like that episode, I was like so stressed out. I was like, I don't know if I would have been able to like handle myself in that situation. And like with like not being able to leave, and like people, I would have like lost my mind. And my girlfriend watched it, and the next day she texted me, she's like, I'm still really stressed about the episode, and I finished it last night at 9 p.m. I'm like, yo, me too. Like, it's like so stressful. Like, I'm not, I don't want to go to
And the
Morocco.
luckiest person in that episode was the trainer, because she got sick and came back early.
She did.
So
Casey.
Yeah. And based on a true character that's trained some A-list Hollywood actors out there. Anna was paying her, $4,000 a month? I mean, that is insane. Insane.
Yeah.
And then bringing her friends along, like Rachel. So, with that being said, we just covered obviously both shows.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I don't think there's a question, but which one is worse? Is it Simon or Anna?
I think
Simon for sure. 100%. There's no,
because he's taken advantage of people that don't have
Right.
don't have the money.
Right.
Anna, and not to say that what she did was right, but she's taking it from people who have so much to burn. Companies, not people, companies that have, they have contingency plans. They have insurance.
Exactly. Insurance.
So,
and she was also, I think she was coming from it as like, I'm doing this as like stepping stones to build something where I'll be able to pay them back as soon as like my big idea pays off. Where Simon was just like churning through to like live this lifestyle that he couldn't afford himself. And so he needed someone else to pay for him.
He just wanted to party.
Yeah.
He just wanted to party.
That's it. And using one girl's money to get another girl. And
he's
of
like,
course, there's the parties.
He's like a lifetime Tinder member.
I will say though, the one part where, and I'm not saying I was rooting for Anna, but when she had the trainer help get her ticket back from Morocco, she was like, can you make sure it's a first class ticket, please? I'm like, man, she's getting you out of Morocco. Like, you should be glad if she gets you a fucking Greyhound out of there.
Exactly. Like, sit in the very last row next to the toilets. And
Right. Where's the urinal at? Okay, that's where your seat is. Fuck all this first class ticket, my ass.
She rode coach when she was handcuffed. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Universally, Simon is the worst, not Sam.
Simon.
100%. And I just saw recently too that he is charging, and unfortunately, I'm sure nightclubs will pay this fee too. He's charging $20,000 to make appearances in nightclubs in like Vegas and across the country, even though that he was painted wrong and is going to sue Netflix and blah, blah, blah. And then on top of that, too, I saw that he's trying to get his own dating show, which unfortunately, being in the world we live in today, would not surprise me at all.
That makes me hate our society so much.
Oh my God, so much.
About, like, business classes where you could pay him like $400 to teach you about business. I'm like,
what business exactly?
What business would anyone want to pay you $400 so that they could get arrested because you are just like a con artist? Like,
he's a consultant for con artists.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't even find Simon attractive. So let's just take that off people. But there's nothing about him, his personality, his persona, anything about him that I would remotely find attractive. Like, so yeah, he has no redeeming qualities in my mind at all. At all.
So that would be a swipe left for you.
Yeah, that would be left.
You're not a match. And
not a match. For
saving yourself a world of heartache as well as possible human trafficking and debt.
Yeah.
Severe,
don't want to be human trafficked,
debt.
But I would also never like ever meet someone online and be like, here's $100,000. I'd be like, absolutely not.
No. All right. So in terms of, and we'll start with the worst first and then best second. In terms of side characters from each show, what's one or two of your least favorite side not actors? Because I mean, for the exception of Tinder Swindler, those are real people. Inventing Anna, those are actors. But let's just say in real life that this was like a documentary on both sides with real people. And we'll start with you, Rihanna, this time. Like, who are two of your like least favorite? One or two from Tinder Swindler, and one or two from Inventing Anna.
So I guess for Tinder Swindler, and they didn't have like, see, I feel bad saying this, number one.
Sure.
The one chick that was his friend, Pernelia, I can't even pronounce her name.
Well, she like fronted him 40,000.
Yeah.
And they weren't even like together.
Yeah. I don't even think they had sex.
Like,
no, they were
also
just
like,
yeah.
Platonic. And also she said like the first time they met, like it was weird. And so that's why she was like, didn't go anywhere romantic with him, but she stayed friends with him. And then, and so for me, I was like, I don't know, that just seemed a little suspicious because like, if you meet someone on Tinder and you go out and you don't connect, like staying friends with them for like the sake of like staying friends with them, she obviously liked his lifestyle. And she was like, if we're not going to date, I might as well like do this to like be attached to that lifestyle. So I didn't really like her character. I still felt bad for her, obviously. And then obviously like his bodyguard, Peter, who was obviously in on everything. And you're like, really? Like, I don't know. it's always like, so
his business partner.
Yeah. Right. And it's always so crappy. Cause like it's so hard when you have someone who's like lying and then you have these people that surround themselves with that are also like part of the gig. And so then like the lines are super blurred because you're like, oh, this person like said this and this person said this, or like I was introduced to so-and-so. And so like it creates this like false sense of security because you feel like there's truth to things because there's multiple people involved. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That are like close to the subject. So those are like my least favorite. I stand with Eilena though. She's great.
Oh, she's fantastic. And then as far as Inventing Anna, who is one or two of your least favorite on there?
I wasn't really a fan of her boyfriend. Was his name Chase? Mm-hmm. Was that his name? Yeah. He was also a con artist. He was also a con artist. He didn't know what he was doing. And I
never understood the whole wake thing, to be quite honest with you. And I know that's probably made up of something else.
Yeah.
And I was hoping it would be something a little bit more relevant. But I was like, so wait a minute. And even like the yacht scene, like we talked about earlier, where he's like, so we're talking about dreams. And even though Anna broke it down exceptional to where I was like, oh, I get it. They're like trying to figure out what people are dreaming about. So pharmaceutical companies or whatever the hell can kind of, keep up. But it still really didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense. It was also just trying. I mean, it's so easy when you work in like the tech space, right? To like to be like, oh, I have this really great idea and here's how it's going to function and here are the things that it's going to do. But in reality, like it's really hard to like build that tech to function the way you need it to function so that you can make it work the way it needs to work for people to love it, right?
Yeah.
So you could have a great idea, but it's just not technically feasible.
Right.
But you can still sell people on it and be like, this is how it's going to work. And if you don't understand how tech works. So I feel like he was also a con artist. So like, when he was like upset about everything, like that didn't bother me because I was like, you're doing the same thing, just in like a different manner. I don't know. There was like little bits of like everybody else that I kind of liked for the most part, except for that one lady. I can't remember her name. The one lady that she lived with.
The art.
Yeah, the one that liked her boyfriend Chase before like Anna like switched her to the other side. She seems like all the people I would never want to hang out with.
Right. I know. I watch these shows and I'm like, let's just say Sheba takes off. It's $5 a share. We're all rich. Okay. And we are all hanging out because I only want to hang out with people that I know. Like, I almost want to be, I don't want to be cliche by saying this, like no new friends, especially some 1%ers out there. I don't, I just want to hang out with just real people that want to have a good time, plain and simple, and spread that kind of love where it seems like this network, which we all know, the Hamptons crew, this, that, and the other, a lot of them are just, they're fucking bougie, plain and simple. Like if you don't dress the part, you don't look the part, you don't act the part, you're not in. And you know what? I'm all good because I'm going to wear my either Old Navy or American Eagle jeans. I'm gonna rock my municipal shit. Exactly, Nicole over here on the spot. And that's it. Say whatever you want to about whatever I'm wearing. I'm gonna rock this shit, whether if I'm a billionaire or I am where I'm at now.
In real life, the people that are the most wealthy wear they look homeless. They really look homeless because I think comfort is everything.
Yeah.
And I just had a conversation about that with my friend the other day. I was like, I know this, like, literally he has fuck you money. And he wears, like, the dingiest stuff. And he drives, like, a Prius. And he, like, doesn't care. But he, like, has more money than, like, anybody else that, like, travels in a circle. And they're all, like, driving their fancy, like, Bentleys and, like, super fancy clothes. And I'm like, I'd rather be that guy.
Yeah.
Biebs wears Crocs.
New Balances are still in with the rich out there.
That's
so.
Right. I think those people, the 1%ers that you talk about, they lose their genuine.
Yep.
Yeah.
The genuinity. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I made that up.
Hey, TM, here it is.
Yep.
Anyway, so it's hard to know like who is real and who is fake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, for both of these shows, for me, I liked seeing the parents' perspective. Like,
nice.
They went and saw Simon's mom.
Yeah.
And kind of the same reaction. I don't know where he is. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Vivian went to go see Anna's parents, kind of the same thing. They're like,
right.
Okay. So my one of my favorite moments was when her mom was talking about her.
Vivian or Anna's mom. Yes. Yeah. Great moment.
And I think this was actually kind of, a bonding moment for Vivian because she was a new mom.
Yeah.
And it's the quote was because she kept asking her, she's like, I just don't believe it. I'm obsessing about it because I just don't believe it. There has to be more.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's easier to imagine her father, to imagine me as monsters. It's better to believe monsters make monsters because children, we think we make them. Because children, we think we shape them, we create them, who they become, because we do them. We do for them. We love them, we guide them, but no. I wish I had a Russian accent. I'm so sorry. We do not make them. Children, they do not come from, they come through. Yeah. And that was kind of like a moment where I was just like, shit.
Yeah.
Because I obsess over that too as a parent. You're like, you want to do right by your kids. You want to guide them in the right direction. But to be quite honest, they're their own people. They're their own sentient beings. They will make their own choices. They will be their own people.
Yep.
No matter what you provide for them. No matter how much you want them to succeed, they will do that on their own or they will not.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the same thing for Simon. Yeah. He found something he wanted to do more, no matter how hard his mommy, you could tell that she worked to the bone for him.
Yeah.
he just was like, I want more.
Yeah.
Same thing for Anna. I want more. I want the most.
Yeah.
You know? So
That was good. Oh, goodness gracious.
I know. I'm
Woo.
like,
Woo. Hold on. Just a quick little. I think everybody needs a little breather after that. Damn, Nicole. Shit.
So my least favorite people, obviously, I'm going to say obviously,
Sure.
because I actually loved these women that were brave enough to show their face after going through what they went through because of Simon.
Yeah.
I adored them. And I thought they were very brave. The fact that they went through all this, the fact that they came together, you know, and they were like, we're not going to accept this shit.
Right.
We're going to do more. And I don't even know how much Netflix would have paid them to do that. I hope they paid them very well, because to get out of that kind of debt, you know what I mean? My least favorite characters of the Tinder Swindler were his business manager, which we only saw like very short.
Very short.
And Peter, his bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit. That shit was cool.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I will say for the ladies that did come forward and show their face and talk about it. Like, there's a massive amount of shame that comes with being conned like that, and so for them to be able to like come forward and tell their story is like a huge. Like, I give them all the credit, because it's not you want to just like hide in a bunker and like never show your face again when something like that happens. So the fact that they were like, no, I'm going to make it not happen to anybody else again is like very remarkable, and they're very strong people.
Agreed.
Favorites were probably the people, were they journalists? They actually went all the way to Israel. The woman and the man, and I can't remember their names.
From Norway.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I actually, like, when they heard the story from these, you know, from Cecile and Pernilla, when they heard the story from them, and they were like, this is something. Like, they deep dove.
Yeah.
Almost as much as Vivian. You know, when Vivian got wind of this report, she was just like, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to reclaim my name, because I got screwed over once. And she did. She went balls deep, excuse my language. But she went like crazy into this story. You know, she found all the facts. She talked to all the people. She went to Anna herself and was like, this is what I'm going to do. I want to make you famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
She definitely did. Least favorite characters on Inventing Anna for me. Those would probably be, look, I had it and then I lost it. Obviously Rachel. I was very annoyed by her.
The worst.
I'm just like, you know, when you're talking about how traumatic something was,
right,
and you're in a foreign country, which you voluntarily did,
right?
She spent so much money on you. Like, I'm the type of person where if I go somewhere, I don't think that I could possibly expect anyone to pay for me.
Totally.
You know, I would never go do something that I could not afford myself.
Yep.
You know, now if you say you're getting the room, I mean, we can talk about that. We're going to talk about
split skis later.
Yeah, split skis later. I don't know. It depends on how lavish.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That $10,000 a night shit, though. I'd be like, is there a Econo lounge around here?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking like $100 a night, Venmo you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Second least favorite was Paul, Vivian's boss. Vivian's direct
boss.
Oh, yeah. That guy was
That guy kind of creeped me out a little, and honestly, with the whole backstory of him running a story about some facts that were not checked, and then her taking all the blame, like that kind of
because that was really the big thing for me as I'm watching Inventing Anna. I'm like, what is the backstory here? And I think that's why I enjoyed Inventing Anna so much. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just about this socialite that pretended to be a socialite. Like, there's a lot of layers in the show, and that was a big fucking layer.
It was because I think it kind of like captured the fact that, like Anna said, men fell upwards. You know, they do something so terribly wrong and then they get promoted. It gets hidden. It gets, you know, it's always lost when and no offense, but when a man fails, you don't see it. But when a woman fails, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like you're responsible for everything, and there's so much expectation on a woman. You know, and it's so unfair. Poor Vivian went to Scriberia. I love that term.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite characters were probably her team over there in
Oh.
Skyberia. I loved them every
Skyberia's
time
the
they came
best.
on. Every time they came on and they went into the bathroom with her, I fucking love that shit. They were like,
We're the best.
we're one and we're one. We are one.
Yeah.
So if one succeeds, we all succeed. If one fails, we all fail. I love them. I really did love them.
It was just very well done. And then honestly, Durs from fucking Workaholics is the most understanding husband ever. Ever. I'm like, his patience level, I admire. I'm not even married, but I admire the shit out of that. So he plays Jack on the show. And then the lawyer too, Todd, because he knew what he was getting into. Yep. He was also dealing with another incredible side story, the whole thing with his wife kind of being a 1%er herself and him working his way up and being like, look, this is my case. And Anna with her fucking wardrobe malfunctions and changes. And he's like, we need this. Like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He was just so great. And then Aileen, however you say it, from Tinder Swindler. As soon as she said, I'm going to swindle the Tinder Swindler, I was like, oh, you are my favorite.
I know. I was like watching it. And I was like, yes, bitch, do this. Like, so
Queen.
He's like, it was there. She like pretends she still loves him, and then is like, nope, taking all this money. And I just like, I wish I had like half of her strength. Just like that, to be like, I don't even care. I'm doing it.
So before we wrap up here, Nicole, anything you want to say to the fine people out here? Is the GoFundMe still going on? Like, what can we do to help out?
My GoFundMe. Let me see how I get this. Y'all.
And for those of you, whether you're tuning in on Facebook Live or listening via the podcast, we hosted an incredible event for her at Corner Bar a few months back, but all donations still definitely appreciated. She's not done yet. Just do the chemo part. Close. We're close though. We're close, and we do appreciate everyone that has donated.
Thank you,
and
everyone.
please keep contributing to the cause.
And I'll tell you what that is shortly. I have no reception in here.
Oh, sorry. So while she does that, Rihanna, why don't you tell us what's coming up next for you, what's coming up next for Municipal, and of course, where to find all the apparel and most importantly, all things Rihanna.
All things Rihanna. Oh, you guys don't want to find all things Rihanna, but
I love your IG.
Thank you. It's mostly just my dog, who you can see.
Yeah, I love it.
Sleeping in the background.
Whole mood.
There you go.
That's exactly where your dog was before we started.
Yeah, like an hour ago. She's just like, this is fine. She can't not be in the same room as me. But yeah, so we're coming up on like our spring summer 22 launches, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, we have a lot of like really fun products coming. A couple pieces that are not designed for golf, but perfect for golf. So we're kind of like opening that can of worms, which is fun. So that's coming in the next couple of months. And then we have more women's stuff coming at like the end of summer and fall. So that's really exciting. And you can find everything on municipal.com. And if you also follow Municipal on Instagram, you can find me there and you can see all my cool Instagram stuff at Rihanna Sullivan.
There you go. It is awesome. You see me rocking it. Well, for those of you watching, if you're listening, watch the damn episode. The most comfortable apparel on the planet. And trust me, I say this every time. They do not pay me to say this. I pay for the clothes and I will gladly wear them because it is incredibly comfortable. And
that winter bloom looks good.
It does. I love
like
this
it.
one.
I love the blue.
So real
Y'all
quick.
can't tell what color it is, but it actually is blue.
Yeah.
And
because I have the red one
green.
too. Again, municipal.com. Check it out. It is absolutely ridiculously comfortable. Is there anything, I know you probably can't, is there anything you can tell us about Wall Street season 2, at least maybe a tentative release date?
I'm not 100% certain about the exact release date, but it's in the works.
Okay.
And it should be here before the end of summer.
Okay. Perfect.
That's good, right?
So a little backstory. That's how we, ended up becoming friends with Rihanna and this whole thing. It was watching the first season of Wall Street. If you have not seen it, It looks like Nicole has not seen it yet.
Have I? Haven't I? I don't know.
It's on HBO Max. I think the first season is what, 4 episodes, right?
I think it's 4 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 6. And it happens literally right before the pandemic. And it shows and showcases all of Mark Wahlberg's business ventures, which is a ton. And that's how we met Rihanna. We got to interview Harry. We got to interview Archie. And we could not have been happier. Literally one of the best just late night choices. I was like, oh, I like Mark Wahlberg. Let me see what he's going on with his businesses. And it's led to this great friendship here with Rihanna joining the show, of course. And obviously this incredibly comfortable apparel.
It's weird, though.
I know.
And honestly, I've gotten some really unusual requests because of it. So let me just go ahead and read it to you. http colon / that was hard to say, gofund.me / again BBC.
That's why.
That's why.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's the reason why. Like, I knew that was going to have a reaction. 4F2F0. There's a 420 in there too.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'll send you the link for BBC. And yeah, y'all, I can't even.
I can only imagine that's got to be another live stream for another day.
But
we'll post it on the stream here on Facebook. We'll obviously post it again. But yeah, you have some very interesting acronyms in there that I'm sure people are like.
I've gotten some weird, like people have added me on Instagram, and I'm just like, why? And then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I
see. This is the weirdest OnlyFriends page I've ever seen.
So random, because sometimes you don't think about that, and all of a sudden you'll release something, and you're like, oh my gosh, like how did I not? That was like the worst idea ever, and like doesn't even register, and then you're stuck with it. You're like, cool.
You're so stuck with it. GoFundMe screwed me.
Yeah.
Well, we will make sure we take care of that.
GoFundMe is basic.
Real basic.
Real basic.
You look poor.
Send you a wire tomorrow.
Bank fuck up coming next week.
Oh my God.
That was my best anime.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So basic.
So basic.
Oh,
Nicole, Rihanna, thank y'all so much for joining us. For those of you on Facebook, thank you for joining us. This episode will be on the Zero Dark Nerdy Facebook page. I'll send it on over to you. We'll probably air this as far as via podcast, I would say at the very latest next week, but fun as always. More in store, I promise you. Tons to cover. This is a big year. Municipal.com for the most comfortable apparel on the planet. Big thank you to Rihanna. Big thank you to Nicole. Be sure to check us out. Podcast episodes coming out every week. The website, popculturepodcast.com, courtesy of Believe.com. And, of course, betonline.ag for all your sports betting needs. Big shout out to our friends over at Zibster for our amazing website, which is popculturepodcast.com. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Nice.
Hashtag Zero Dark Baby.
Zero. I know.
Yeah! Victory! And anger management? Fuck anger management.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
Hey, it's Michelle Beadle. That's right, the Michelle Beadle. You're welcome. You love talking about sports. I love talking about sports. You know the only thing cooler than talking about sports? Sports! And right now, all your favorite sports are on Sirius XM. I'm talking every NFL game, every game from the NBA, NHL, MLB, every NASCAR race, golf major conference college sports, and all the top games in the WNBA. If it gets your heart pumping, it's on Sirius XM. To start your free trial of Sirius XM today, visit SiriusXM.com/believe.